Alright, what's good, y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So, today's video is clearly of no mystery. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. We're obviously going to be talking about the difficulty situation going into Generation 9 of Pokemon. We have already talked about difficulty problems in the Pokemon series a multitude of times at this point. So a lot of what I say in this video may seem a little familiar, some things may be a little new here and there, but for the most part, it's not like we haven't touched on this topic before. We all know by this point that one of Game Freak's biggest problems is that they don't really listen to us, ever. But hey, you know what they say, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So I think I'd rather put something out there and have it be completely fruitless as opposed to not saying anything at all and just living with the problem. So, specifically for this upcoming generation, why don't we talk about the difficulty situation for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet? So to start things off, what's the first thing that we always have to talk about when it comes to the difficulty in Pokemon games? If the first thing that came to your mind right now was the experience share, guess what, bud? Every single one of us thought that. Well, actually, I can't speak for everybody, but I know a damn good chunk of us did. Anyhow, I feel like kind of a broken record bringing this one up yet again, but we all know that in Pokemon, when it comes to the difficulty, the experience share is always involved. We've pretty much been stuck with this version of the experience share ever since our transition to 3D on the 3DS. One day they were just like, let's just make it permanent and make it so that it gives all of the Pokemon experience even if they don't do anything. Now, Pokemon was already never really all that hard, like ever until post-game, if that. But ever since this staple has come to the series, we have pretty much had mind-numbing battles throughout the entirety of the main games. The NPCs are already stupid with how they fight me, but now I don't even need to switch out my Pokemon half the time because the main one's overpowered and everybody's getting the exact same experience anyway, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. So even well after the release of 6th Gen, when people were pretty damn vocal about the fact that they didn't really want the experience share that way, we got it anyway throughout the rest of the series. So if you ever thought that I was exaggerating about them never listening, this situation right here is a prime example. One of the most annoying things is that there's such an easy fix to this. Literally, just allow people to turn it off. That one little easy switch flip option would change so much. If people don't want to have a mind-numbing playthrough, then they shouldn't have to have a mind-numbing playthrough. Let them turn it off and play the way they want to play. If they want to be more grindy about their team, then let them. It's that easy. Hell, if I'm playing an RPG and I'm not properly utilizing the rest of my team, I should be punished for it. I feel like if I was more inclined to utilize other Pokemon on the field, I would probably learn a lot more about some other Pokemon that I've never really utilized before. Anyhow, I've already said it a million times, I'll say it a million more. Give the people the option to turn it off. It's an option that hurts nobody and benefits everyone. Just so we could at least finally take a little step away from this very hand-holdy era of Pokemon. Because before Legends, these games were pretty much being played for us. You can't really argue that too much. Allowing the players to have their own choices on how they go about the game will make them surprisingly happy if you would just let it happen. Just putting that out there. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that y'all really need to get a better handle on how your difficulty inclines in these games. Within the last 3 entries of the series, the difficulty has been pretty much non-existent until the very last hour. You're cruising along, not thinking about anything, plowing through literally any challenge that comes your way until all of a sudden the final enemy is just like, where do you think you're going? And then they proceed to go ahead and just stomp you into oblivion. And then you're sitting there thinking to yourself after looking at that game over screen, what the hell happened? Where did that come from? I'll tell you exactly where it came from. Game Freak choosing to be ignorant yet again. See, I'm not mad about the fact that there's a crazy difficulty spike at the end of the game. What pisses me off is that the entire game isn't like that, and it's not a gradual change, it's just a push off the cliff. Yeah, sure, it's kind of a challenge, but it's annoying because the rest of the game doesn't prepare you for what's gonna happen there. And it's very unfair to the player, especially the new ones that don't really understand Pokemon as well. What I'm trying to explain is, the NPCs this time around need to be smart the whole way through, not just at the very end. Now, I'm not saying right out the gate or anything like that, but for gym leaders, they need to be switching out Pokemon more often, using unique tactics and items if they have to, not just potions at the very end of a Pokemon's health. Hell, their Pokemon should be holding items and stuff like that to help them survive. That way, as a trainer, after a hard-fought battle with the gym leader and actually earning my gym badge, I'm walking out thinking, huh, that was a really good strategy. What item was that again? A focus band? I should get my hands on one of those so that I can utilize that for the next battle. You see what I'm saying here? By exposing me to that kind of strategy as a player, I'm learning how to utilize those items. Doing things like this, for example, more often is a win-win. On one hand, I'm actually sitting up in my seat completely engaged in the game because I'm getting that challenge that I crave so badly. On the opposing hand, you're teaching newer players how to properly utilize items and things like that, so that when they go online to battle other people, they already have some kind of strategies in mind that they can use on other people. Those skills can easily be built up through the entirety of the game, and it actually helps the game in of itself be more challenging and more fun. And like I said earlier, not every NPC in the game needs to be remake Cynthia level hard. That is a ridiculous level. I'm sure that a lot of us have played other RPGs besides just Pokemon, so I'm sure that you can agree when I say that it's nice to have the computer actually fight back every once in a while. And again, there's no reason to hold off on that fight back until the end of the game. Sprinkle it out a little bit. I also think that new generational games are a prime time to do things like this. We're getting a lot of new Pokemon this time around. Pokemon with typings that we recognize, some with new mixed typings, and we just generally don't know what they're gonna be like. And I think that the best way to handle this is for the game to actually show the potential of these newer Pokemon by utilizing possible competitive options for them. So then, when you're walking out of that second gym battle, you're thinking, man, that regional variant of Tauros is actually really sick. I should try to get my hands on one of those. And then you're trying out some competitive options with that Tauros, or you're switching it up and making your own. Anyhow, I think you get the gist of things by now. There's so many different ways that this can be handled, and if you do it correctly, the difficulty in these games could be so much better. It's okay to let go of our hands and let us go out and get our asses kicked on our own, Game Freak. Unfortunately, that's the best way to learn anything. But anyhow, the last thing that I feel like we should talk about is the possibility of adding actual difficulty options. Something that a majority of games this day and age should have, or probably already do have, is difficulty options. It's very rare for me to see a game, especially in the RPG turn-based genre, that doesn't have difficulty options. That's super weird. So it's super weird when discussing Pokemon because they have never done that. Like, why? I don't understand why they're so afraid of letting people choose how hard they want the game. Is that too much? Now, usually if a turn-based game doesn't have difficulty options, it's because it just naturally gradually gets harder no matter what. And like we just talked about a moment ago, Pokemon also refuses to do that too. So, what the hell, guys? Now here's the thing, I think it would be really nice if we as the players had the option to choose if we wanted to play a normal playthrough or a hard playthrough. It would literally be that simple. In the normal playthrough, the NPCs would play exactly like they always do in any Pokemon game. You just wash through them and then you get to the end and whatever happens, happens. And then, on the opposing side, if you choose to play on a harder difficulty, you should run into competitive level NPCs that are doing way harder strats and more unique things to try to put you down. Is that too much? Am I asking for too much when I ask for a harder difficulty? Is that ridiculous? In some type of way? You tell me. Now, here's the thing when it comes to Pokemon. They've made it very clear that they want it to be a fun and fair experience for everybody that plays the game. And I get that. That's totally fine. You want to make it as accessible to newcomers as it is to older players. But here's the thing though. If I, as a brand new player, were to choose the harder difficulty consciously and on purpose, that means that I'm asking to be punished for playing recklessly and not thinking about my actions. By making that choice, I am saying that I want a challenge. So I don't understand why you guys are so scared of giving people the option to choose to have a challenge. Or, in a similar vein, somebody choosing easy or normal is simply requesting a more laid-back playthrough with minor challenge to get through the story at their own pace. that there is also a totally fine and valid option. Now what's annoying to me is that you want to cater to everybody, but you're not doing that at all. As older fans, it's no mystery as to why you want to cater to the new audience so much. In every new game that you guys put out, you want to make sure that they understand what they're doing and how to play the game. So therefore, you hold their hand, you make it kind of easy for them so they can understand the basics of Pokemon. That's fine, I get that. However, you continuously do this with every single game, which in turn completely neglects the older audience. Hey, howdy, you-hoo, remember me, the guy that's been playing your games for the past 20 years of my life? I understand the game now, can I get a challenge mode or something? Please? All I'm saying is, it's not really fair to your older audience that they either have to create their own challenge or they're forced to do a casual playthrough because we understand the game too well. There's no balance there and you're not making a fair experience for everyone. Wow, I really went off on that one, didn't I? Anyway, I think you get the picture by now. I want a casual playthrough to be optional, not mandatory. If I just wanted to mindlessly play something completely free of any action or story or challenge, I would play a different genre. I wouldn't be playing RPGs. But whatever, I can argue till the sun comes up. Difficulty options are probably the easiest way to go about this, but I don't know if you're actually going to make it happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that. But all in all, that actually just about does it for this one. At the end of the day, a lot of us have played Pokemon for a very long time now, and we've more than well enough come to understand its mechanics so well that even when switching things up a little bit, just a little bit, it still tends to be a bit too easy. With the first real open world installment of Pokemon, with such a big step, I'm really just don't shy away from something as simple as giving us a genuine challenge simply for the sake of newcomers. Unfortunately though, this wouldn't be the first time they've done it, and it definitely probably won't be the last, so we'll just have to play it by ear. Hey, so it should be done downloading by now. Can you go on your computer really quick? Yeah, click that file right there. I promise you it's not a virus. I promise. Just click on that. Now put it in a folder on your desktop. Yes, sir. All right. Now this is gonna sound great. Just go ahead and reach right into your computer screen for me. I'm dead ass. Do it. Yeah, damn straight you downloaded the mic. Now go ahead, turn that sucker on, and go ahead and tell me what you guys think of the difficulty situation in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Do you think they'll do better? Do you think they'll do worse? Do you think it's going to stay the same as it always has been? Would you prefer to have difficulty options? Would you prefer that they just sprinkle it in through the main game and make it more challenging in general? Let me know everything in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I am always down there with you guys without a doubt. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get the hell up out of here. I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this. And with that, I'm outro. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!